Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. And to my ears, monitoring it live, that sounds a lot better than the H1 did. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today I'm going to do a review of the Zoom F3 field recorder. Before I switch to a top-down view and walk us through the device, just give you a little bit of information on how I came to want one of these. And I did buy this with my own money. There's no sponsoring of this at all. I bought it during the Black Friday sales last year. I've had a few months to play with it, and I've really enjoyed it. When I started researching field recorders, it was because last year I took my little Zoom H1 that I've had for a long time out, and I was doing some nature recording, and I wanted to get some ambient sounds. And while my memory of sounds might be romantic and they sound quite loud, to an audio recorder and microphone, nature sounds tend to be pretty quiet. So by the time I'd either turned up the preamps in the H1 or boosted it in post, I was just introducing a lot of noise. And the Zoom H1 is a budget recorder, so it isn't really fair. It comes with 2 microphones and everything in one compact case. This Zoom F3 does not have microphones and costs 3 times as much. So nothing wrong with the H1 for what it is in its price range, but it just wasn't getting the results that I wanted. So when I was starting to do research, I took a look at Sound Devices. All of their products seem very well reviewed. They sound like just the thing that you want if you're a professional sound recordist, but I'm not. I'm a visual artist, I'm a photographer, I'm a filmmaker, I do a lot of things, and I just didn't have the budget for those devices because they're very expensive. So I had a friend with a Tascam recorder. It's a 16-bit recorder with 4 inputs. Great device, reviewed really well, took it out, and sure enough, my results were a lot better. I tested it with a bunch of microphones, and I got a lot closer to what I wanted, but I still wasn't super happy. It was a little bit bigger than what I wanted, a little clunky to carry around. So I continued to look, and I found the Zoom F3. So we're going to switch to a top-down view here, and we'll walk through the device. Okay, for this part, I'm actually using my old recorder, so if the sound quality drops, I'm not using a great microphone nor a great recorder, so apologize for that. But we're using the Zoom F3 as an example here, so I can't use it as a recorder. So here it is. It's a small little recorder, and just for a frame of reference, there's an engineer square that has both metric and imperial measurements on it, so you get a good idea of the scale that we're working with here, no matter where you are in the world. Let me get rid of that. So on the front face, turn it right side up here, we've got the main screen and 4 control buttons. On the next face, we've got the line out, the headphone out, and a volume control for that headphone out. Then we've got a socket for the optional Bluetooth transceiver, the power button, and then a record and hold switch. The next face, we've got 2 locking XLR inputs. They do have phantom power available through the menus if you need that for your microphone. The final face has a DC input, so if you want to use external power, you can. And you've got a micro SD card input. Then on the bottom, you've got a 1/4 20 for mounting this to either a rig or really whatever you want. And a battery door that covers 2 AA batteries. I use Eneloops because they're rechargeable. Keep a little bit out of the waste stream. And that is a quick look at the Zoom F3. Before I get to doing a couple sound tests for you, I want to run through some pros and cons of this device from my perspective, as I've had a couple of months to play with it. First, the 32-bit float recording and the preamps are fantastic. It's easily the best recorder that I've ever used. The tiny footprint is wonderful. It's really easy to bring with me. I tend to use Micro Four Thirds gear for a lot of my work, so it fits nicely into small backpacks that are right for that size of gear. Having headphone and line out is wonderful. I actually run from this device to the camera that I'm recording this on, so it's easy to sync audio in post. Phantom power is a really nice feature to have. The microphone that I'm using right now doesn't require it. I've got a new one that I'm going to be taking out into the field. It's a shotgun microphone that does need phantom power, and if that goes well, I'll do a review of it. But it's nice to have that flexibility so I can use dynamic and condenser mics or just about anything really. While it doesn't have a touch screen, the menus are really easy to navigate, and I just really haven't found that that's a big problem. And finally, it's got a 1/4 20 mount, which makes it really easy to rig up. That's a super common, everything from camera tripods to a lot of rigging gear uses 1/4 20. So it's just a really common thread and really easy to work into your kit. And then for a few cons, The biggest one is this thing eats batteries like mad. This isn't even a phantom-powered microphone, and I hardly get one of these short recordings done before I need to go charge my batteries. Now, I record a lot more than you see. I stumble over my words every once in a while and restart things, so this isn't done in one take, obviously. Still, when I'm done recording these, usually I've lost enough battery power that I don't want to try doing another one for fear of running out, so I swap batteries out. This uses micro SD cards, which I just hate. I'd rather have a slightly larger device that uses regular SD cards. Micro SDs are fragile, they're tiny, they're easy to lose. It tends to either get stuck in devices or the device ejects it across the room, which isn't a big deal in a studio like this, but if you're outside and it chucks it into tall grass, you're probably never finding it again. And finally, something that's probably not a huge deal, but the power button is kind of easy to hit. In practical use, I've never had this problem because I'm usually not hand-holding my device. But when I was doing my top-down tests and kind of walking through how I wanted to do that, I accidentally turned the device on and off a couple of times. So something to be mindful of if you're using this. Don't think I'd put it in my hand, especially if you're a fidgety person, because it's really easy to accidentally turn the thing on or off. So next I'm going to do a couple of sound tests. I'm going to compare this. We'll record this first, and then we'll record with my H1 in the same environment, and we'll see which one does better. All right, I turned the HVAC system on, and we have some wind outside today that's really howling. I don't know how much of that is going to come through in the recording, but I wanted to have some background noise so you could tell the difference between these two devices. First, we're going to test the F3, and this is an SM58 microphone, and the microphone does help here. It's pretty good at room rejection. It's the reason that I picked that microphone. It's a pretty budget microphone. It's usually a vocal performance mic. So that's going to help us a little bit, but should give us a good test, the differences between these two setups. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, 1, 2, 3. And to my ears, that sounds really good. I did put some, I don't know if you can see this on camera, but I've got some in-ear monitors on, which I'm usually not wearing when I do this. And there's a little bit of hiss, but in my experience, that is the headphone amp, and it's not going to come through. So hopefully you're not hearing hiss in the background in the quiet moments. And to me, that sounds pretty good. So I'm going to turn this off real quick, and I'm going to set up my H1. It mounts a little bit different, so I think I'm going to switch to a tripod here instead of a mic stand, and I'll be right back. Okay, I had to move my chair just a little bit closer. The cable, which might actually be in the shot here, that runs back to the camera to sync audio, didn't quite stretch with this device. Usually the Zoom F3 is sitting closer to the camera. So this is the Zoom H1. Let me get a little closer to the microphone, so we're pretty close to what we had before. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, 1, 2, 3. I can't wear headphones with this one because it only has one out, so it's either line or I can have headphones. But I did test it first before I plugged it all in here, and I think that's enough of the horrible audio. We'll go ahead and kill that, and we'll get back to the Zoom F3. Give me just a second. So I just went and listened to that, and after I normalized the levels, the difference is pretty dramatic. I think the F3 and the SM58 produce a lot better sound in this environment. And there was no other processing. I lifted these to the same level using the normalize feature within DaVinci Resolve, and that is it. Overall, I really like this recorder. It does a great job for me. So if you're looking for something similar to what I needed, this might do a great job for you as well. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comments section below, and please like and subscribe. This is a new channel, trying to get it going, and it's great to see likes. It's great to see new subscribers, and I'd love that to continue. My name's Jeff. I'm a full-time visual artist, photographer, and videographer, and this is something that I added in because I like to share what I do. I make how-to videos, some gear reviews, and some philosophical stuff about navigating the art world. Good luck on your art journey. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.